What is up, guys? My name is Kristi Habluk. I'm a software engineer for the past 17 years, and I've been doing mobile development for the past 12 years. And in this video, we're going to cover how you could create your iOS app from scratch, how the XCode layout looks like, how to do your project settings, and so on. You'll get to understand crucial aspects like how to navigate XCode's layout, how to build your project settings when you're first starting out, where to find certain resources and documentation, how the build process works, how to use the simulator, and what the differences between debug and release modes are. You will need to have XCode installed. I suggest having the latest version, but if not, it's not a big deal. Some settings might be a bit different than what you're seeing on screen. Ideally, you would have some Swift programming language experience, but if not, don't worry about it. I will have plenty of videos to cover that as well. So let's dive right into it. Open up XCode, go to File, New, Project. Make sure you choose the iOS tab since we're building an iOS app. The app template, and then click Next. In the next screen, you'll be asked to choose some options for your new project. The product name, which is basically the app name but could be different. Let's call it My Awesome Project. You can pick your team in case you're part of different teams, the organization identifier, and you can see that XCode automatically generated a bundle identifier. We'll leave the last options unchecked for now. Click Next. And there you go. XCode generated a project for us. It's that simple. Let's talk about the XCode layout first. On the left side, you'll see a sidebar with the project navigation. You can toggle it on or off using this button. You can also see it has many tabs on top. For the purposes of this project, we'll just focus on the first tab, which is the actual project navigator. And at the bottom of the project navigator, you will find a filter section where you can filter how these files are presented to you. For example, if you type in Swift, you will see only the Swift files, and it will hide the other ones. Now, if you look to the right side, there's a sidebar there as well. This is the inspector's sidebar. As the project's navigation sidebar, you can toggle it on or off, and it also has some tabs on top. The inspector's sidebar is very important since it allows you to visually change parameters instead of coding them up. For example, in our view, if you tap on the text label, you will see that it automatically filled in some parameters for us. So you could, for example, choose the font weight, set it to bold, and you will see that it immediately created the code to update that view. So we've talked about the sidebars, and now the most important part, where you'll be doing most of the work, will be in the center area, which is actually the files that you have opened. In our case, it's the content view. On the top area, you'll also see some information about what you're currently building against and some status. If you, for example, want to switch the device you want to build against from iPod Touch, you can just click on it and choose, for example, iPhone 13 Pro. Now, let's say you started coding your app and you want to build and run it. You can just go to the top left area here and click on the Start button. This will start the build, and at the end of it, if everything goes right and you have no errors, you'll be presented with the simulator in our case. So as you can see, the simulator now shows the hello world text that we had in the original code. When you're done with it and you want to stop it, you can just see that a stop button has appeared, and you can just click it and it will stop your app. We will talk some more about XCode layout in other videos, but for now I'd like to take you through the project settings. So you can just click on the project name and you will see the interface to edit the project. Starting with the most important things, you have a project area and a targets area. The project section allows you to set up some default values that will be shared across all the targets. In XCode projects, targets are singular units of code that are designed and developed to be a particular piece of your application. For example, your main code, your main application could be a target. If you create a watch app, that will also be a separate target. And they could share code, which is very important. No need to go into more details for now, but if you have any other questions, you can just check out my other videos and also ask away in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer you as soon as possible. Now let's see what XCode has generated for us besides this. Because this is a SwiftUI app, the boilerplate is greatly reduced. You can already see how little is required to get up and running. Let's start with the app structure. This is the entry point into your app. Every app has an entry point. This is what gets executed the first time you open the app, and it's used to initialize your app properly. In our case, it's very clear that this is a pretty simple app. It just has a window group that contains our view. The view is defined in this structure, and you can further customize this and build the rest of the app. You can also find a couple of asset catalogs. Now, asset catalogs are very important structures that let you organize the rest of your resources so you don't have to worry about separating them from code, which is very important when building apps. Whenever you need to replace a resource like an icon, for example, you just use the asset catalog, rebuild, and everything should be fine. The main differences between the assets catalog and the preview assets catalog is that the preview assets will not be bundled in your final app. They're just there for development purposes so that you can use some placeholder images to test your code while developing. When you're first starting out, you can use the structure that XCode provided you, but you'll quickly grow your app and you'll want to have a more flexible structure, and XCode is great at letting you do that by creating folders and groups and even references to other files. I'm going to stop the video right here since I think I covered everything important that you need to know when building your first app. I hope you found this video useful. If so, I'd like to hear about your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe to this channel. There's going to be way more videos coming up soon. See ya.